back to the David67 YouTube Celtic News channel. Today's video going to be about previewing the Atletico Madrid match tomorrow and a brief look at Celtic's great win against Ross County on Saturday and a couple of bit of Celtic news. Now, just going back to the game on Saturday against Ross County, great game for Celtic. Could easily have been 8, 9, 10, nothing. Was it not for a man of the match performance by the Ross County goalkeeper? A couple of dodgy VAR decisions. Perfectly good Celtic goal, I think, overruled by the referee for a supposed push of O on the Ross County defender. The general view of all the pundits and experts is that Celtic were done out of a goal against with Scales scoring, and also the VAR offside was extremely close, and the previous advice had been if the two lines were touching, as they were in all the images shown on the TV, then the goal should have been allowed. However, it would appear by a fraction of a millimetre it must have been that Dyson Maida was offside, although the still images were rather vague as to whether it was or it wasn't when Paulo Bernardo last kicked the ball before it went to Maida. However, in the end, Celtic won 3-0. We managed to rotate a few players into the team, give them match practice, rest key players like O'Reilly and Alistair Johnston. Bit of game time for Dyson Maida and Kyogo, and the defence looked nice and strong. In terms of bits of Celtic news, David Turnbull holding out on signing a new contract at Celtic. He says it's down to other people to decide on those things, but I can't see how a decision to stay at Celtic or go from Celtic is anybody else's decision apart from his. It would appear that Celtic have offered him a contract renewal and extension. He is already in Celtic's top 10 players for weekly wages, above several of the starters, such as Hart, Taylor, Johnston, for example. Not sure he deserves to be paid up alongside Kyogo and CCV and O'Reilly and Hatate, etc. He is, if Celtic have a full fit 11 players, going to be a bench player. I personally think players such as Iwata, Holm and Paulo Bernardo are all better than him. They all give far more to the team, and I thought it was very interesting a comment made by Brendan Rodgers when talking about Turnbull's new contract. It says that Turnbull moves when he wants to, which I think reflects Rodgers also feels that Turnbull isn't really contributing fully to the team and seems primarily to feel his role is to take long shots, and as was also the case at the weekend against Ross County. Turnbull messed up 7 corners and 2 direct free kicks and wasted a lot of Celtic's attacking opportunities, as well as missing a very easy chance to put us 2-0 up early in the second half. And so, personally, I'd like to see all the players Celtic already have on longer contracts given the chance between now and the end of the season, up until when Hatate gets back into the team full time, and then those players then going back to being on the subs bench as and when required. Finally, in terms of a bit of transfer news, Matthias Kvistgaarden of Brøndby was talking in the press about his thoughts for the future. It does appear he wants away from Brøndby at the end of this season. He was speculating where he wanted to go. He did acknowledge that Celtic had been interested in him in the summer. Celtic did have a transfer bid of around £4 million turned down. Brøndby then seemed willing to deal at between 5 and 6, but then got cold feet at the last minute, as I think they were scared they couldn't sign another player uh, for their team of that level, and seemed keen to keep him to the end of their season. Um, Kvistgaarden seemed to prefer to go to Germany rather than come to Scotland, although he has acknowledged that the Scottish League is bigger than the Danish League and that Celtic is a European big club, and so it may well be that in the winter window that transfer gets resurrected. I personally think he would be a good addition to Celtic's um, um, stack of strikers, and giving something different from O and something different from Kyogo. And Kvistgaarden has scored 10 goals in 15 games for Brøndby this season. Finally, the other player who has been linked to Celtic strongly, Andre Lunin, the backup goalkeeper at Real Madrid. It's unclear whether Real Madrid will allow him to go in the winter window for a reduced fee, or whether he then would be on a freedom of contract in the summer of 24. It does appear Lunin wishes to go to a bigger league rather than coming to Celtic, and the favourites would appear to be Real Betis, where he would then go in as the number one goalkeeper. Chelsea are also said to be very much interested in him, but that would be as a backup goalkeeper rather than a starter. I think Celtic does remain in the frame for Lunin, but I think although we would have the money to pay a transfer fee and the money to pay his weekly wages, I think Lunin looks to want to go to a bigger, more prestigious league than Scotland. Finally, just looking at Celtic's game against Atletico Madrid in the Champions League. I think Celtic will go into that match full of confidence. I think Celtic gave Atletico Madrid more than a run for their money at Celtic Park. Celtic could easily have won that game a couple of weeks ago at Celtic Park. I do wish Celtic had gone for it in the last 10 men when Atletico withdrew everybody into defence and midfield, leaving only one player up front. At that point, we did have 5 defenders on, and I do so wish we'd taken off someone such as Taylor. Then we would have had Scales and Phillips and Carter Vickers to mark one forward. We would have had Johnson being able to push forward wide on the right. We could have had O up front with the wide players playing off him. It would have given us much more of an attacking threat, and I think we could have nicked a goal in the last few minutes, as we did have 10 minutes plus 5 minutes added time, being one player up on them. However, I think Celtic do have the pace and skill to hit Atletico Madrid on the break. I think our back 5 are very strong. I think Joe Hart has got more and more confidence and understanding with the back 4. Scales is, as always, very impressive. CCV is getting better and better. Johnson is an excellent defender, good positional sense, good tackler, good distributor. Greg Taylor probably the weakest of the back 3. The back 4. There is a possibility that Celtic might play Lagerbielke or Phillips alongside CCV and pop Scales across to left back. That might be an option. I do think the support of Maeda coming back to support the fullbacks, and also the use of a player other than David Turnbull in midfield to add to McGregor and O'Reilly coming back to support the fullbacks. I do hope we go for a Bernardo Iwata or Home as our third midfielder. I do think Celtic do have the skills with Lewis Palma, Kyogo and Maeda to hit them on the break. O'Reilly and McGregor have tremendous engines to go from box to box to get up to support the attacking three. And so I can see easily Celtic getting a goal against Atletico Madrid or two. And I fully expect them to get a point tomorrow, and could even nick a win similar to our great victory against Lazio a few years ago when we won 2-0 late in the game, thanks to an Olivier Incham second goal. So, in terms of starting 11 for tomorrow, the 11 I think Rodgers will go with will be Hart and goals, Johnson, CCV and Scales, with Taylor at left back. Although I would actually like to see him trial Scales at left back and pop Phillips or Lakibielka into central defence against them beside CCV. Midfield, I think we'll go with Bernardo, O'Reilly, and McGregor. Up front, Maeda, Kyogo, and Luis Palma. Really hope that Roger starts to use Luis Palma from dead ball situations. He had a couple of very dangerous corners against Ross County at the weekend. His brilliant long distance curving looping shot was wonderful. He did hit the top of the wall with his one free kick, but I think once he gets into the groove playing for Celtic, taking the direct free kicks as number one choice, he'll get better and better, as he did in Greece, where he scored a lot of goals from outside the box from direct shots or direct free kicks. And also, he gives Celtic a very reliable penalty kick option, as he has a 100% record in club and international football as a penalty taker. So that brings us to the end of today's Celtic video. Please do click the subscribe button if not already subscribed. Click the like button for this video, and also please share this video details and channel details to all your friends, family, colleagues who are football fans and Celtic fans. And as always, there is a Celtic trivia quiz question in the community section. So for today, goodbye. Good luck Celtic tomorrow against Madrid. And hail, hail!